Hello students, I am happy to connect with you on yet another class on this online platform. Now today the topic that we would be dealing with is a very socially relevant topic which as a teacher educator I need to have a proper understanding. As a student teacher you need to have a proper awareness of the child. So today we will be dealing with the topic on gender issues. And naturally we will be concentrating more in the background of Indian system, the prevalence of gender issues in our country. Now this happens to be a topic that we need to learn in Unit 2 of your syllabus. And before we move on with the topic, I'd like to give you an idea on what are the things that we would be covering under this topic on gender issues. We would be starting with a brief outline on various terms that we come across when we learn the topic on gender issues. And then we would look at gender issues from different perspectives, starting with a historical perspective. That is, how was the gender issues in existence in the Indian society, right from the Vedic, the Dravidian, the the pre-independence, the post-independence, the modern, and in the 21st century. So historical perspective, how did gender issues evolve in the Indian society? We would also be looking at gender issues from a social perspective. How did the society look at gender from time immemorial? Then we would be looking at the political colors that has been given to gender issues in our society, and also from the economic point of view. As far as gender issues are considered, how did the economy look at the gender? How did the economy look at the productive contribution of the gender towards development? So, starting with the basic terminologies related to the topic on gender, moving on to understanding gender issues from different perspectives, we will, as teacher educators and as future teachers, we are more concerned about gender issues in our curriculum, how the gender issues have been given proper balanced, whether it has been given a proper balanced weightage in the curriculum, and if at all there is any anomaly or any discrepancy in the gender issues as far as education is concerned, what are the causes for the same and what can be done for the same. So concentrating more on gender issues related to education, and then the discrimination that exists in a society, whether the Indian society or in any other society, what sort of discrimination exists as far as gender issues are concerned. So that is again a matter that we need to discuss upon, gender bias or gender discrimination, or we call it as gender disparities. So what are the different kinds of gender discrimination, or if at all gender discrimination exists, in what form, how do they exist? So that is about the various aspects that we will be learning under the topic on gender issues. Then the topic ends with, if there is gender discrimination, the topic ends with gender empowerment. Naturally, whenever there is gender discrimination, the gender which is discriminated has to strengthen themselves. That is called gender empowerment. And this term most of you might be familiar with, gender empowerment, because in the recent past, women empowerment, gender empowerment has been much in the limelight. So this is in a nutshell a bird's eye view of what all things we will be covering in this second unit titled Gender and Society. And personally, this happens to be a topic which is among my list of favorites, because if you keep your eyes and ears open, you will find that everywhere you come across issues relating to gender. There are issues relating to violence or abuse that one's gender is subjected to by another. So as a teacher educator, I consider it as my prime responsibility to pass on an awareness about gender issues. What are the things that we need to look into? How can we protect our rights, and how can we live an effective and a successful life, a successful survival in fact. And as student teachers, tomorrow you will be emerging into another platform as full-fledged teachers, and the audience that you will be facing in your classrooms are Generation Y, Generation Alpha, and even generations beyond. And these children at least should be made fully aware right from the grassroots level about the various gender issues existing in the society. And they should know what to do when their rights get violated, when they are subjected to any form of discrimination, when they are subjected to any form of violence. Many times, people, an individual or a child gets abused or discriminated, and the issue comes to the media, might take up the issue. There will be a big hue and cry about it. At times, the criminal may the criminals may move out without being affected at all. All these things take place, and we remain as mute spectators. So in order to avoid that, inclusion of these topics, at least in a pre-service course like the B.Ed program, is a matter of great urgency, so that as teachers of tomorrow, you can fully equip your audience in the classroom to face such kind of issues, if at all they encounter any in their days to come. So this is, in a nutshell, an introduction to the topic on gender and society. So as I said earlier, we need to have a preliminary understanding regarding the basic terms and concepts related to this topic. So first, we would start with certain terms related to this topic. So naturally, I said this topic is gender and society. So we need to have an understanding of what exactly is gender. Gender refers to certain characteristics that has been framed by the society for men and women. Certain socially framed characteristics. Gender refers to socially framed characteristics. Socially framed, that is characteristics framed by the society for whom? For men and women. With respect to what? With respect to the norms or the rules. The norms or the rules. Then the roles exercised by men and women with respect to the relationship between men and women or between groups of men and women. So this is what we call as gender. It is a set of socially constructed characteristics. Gender refers to a set of socially constructed characteristics for men and women with respect to the norms or rules, or with respect to the relationship between men and women. Now, this concept or this idea of gender may differ from society to society. Why does that happen? Because the cultural colors of the society, the economic structures of the society, the political leanings of the society differ from one society to another. So when these aspects differ, naturally the concept of gender will also differ from society to society. The concept of gender means the concept of social characteristics that have been framed for men and women will differ from society to society. And every individual, so if this is gender, let us look at it from another angle. Every individual, every child has got the full right to develop to their maximum potential. If you borrow the terminology from Maslow's theory of motivation, every individual has the right to reach the level of self-actualization. But sometimes there happens a situation where some barriers act as a hindrance, preventing an individual from reaching their full potential. Repeating again, sometimes there occur certain barriers which prevent an individual from reaching their full potential. And these barriers is what we term as gender inequalities. Gender inequality. So we have seen what is a gender. Now let us see what do you mean by the term gender inequalities. Gender inequalities. See, gender inequality refers to certain barriers that prevent a person, or that prevent certain category of people, or that discriminate one gender from reaching their full potential. And what exactly are the chief causes responsible for such kind of inequality? Basically, it stems from the patriarchal nature, patriarchal nature, that is the male dominated nature of a society. One of the basic cause for gender inequality happens to be the patriarchal nature of the society. Then yet another factor that affects gender inequality happens to be the traditions, the orthodox conventions, the set patterns. Let me repeat once again, the set patterns of the society also act as causes responsible for gender inequality. So we have seen gender refers to certain socially framed characteristics meant for both the gender, men and women in society. But at times, men or women or an individual cannot attain their full potential due to certain barriers. These barriers we term as gender inequality. And the basic causes for gender inequality may stem from the patriarchal nature of the society, the traditional, the conventional, the orthodox patterns of the society, the political structures, or maybe the economic structures or the religious system of the society may act as barriers leading to gender inequality. So whenever there exists gender inequality, naturally there should be a mechanism in every society, in every progressive society, to lead to gender equality. Gender equality, that should be the ultimate aim, gender equality. So gender equality, basically it focuses on fairness of treatment towards both the gender, or different categories of people, you may say. Fairness in treatment, equality of treatment. And gender equality refers to an equal division or an equal sharing. It refers to an equal division or an equal sharing, and it is actually a quantitative concept. So fairness in distribution. Gender equality means, in one sentence you can say it is fairness in distribution with respect to equal division or an equal sharing. It is more of a quantitative concept. And when you talk about gender equality, a similar term. So we have seen what is gender inequality. We have been discussing on what is gender equality, and we need to understand what is gender equity. Gender equality and gender equity. We said equality is a quantitative concept that refers to an equal sharing, equal division, whereas gender equity is more of a qualitative concept. Gender equity is a qualitative concept. That also basically both equality and equity are based on the concept of fairness, fair treatment, fairness. But here in equity, it is not equal distribution or equal sharing. In equity, it is sharing according to one's needs. Sharing based on one's needs. Sharing based on one's need. So it is more qualitative. And equity is actually the means. That is the process that leads to equality, which is the end or the outcome. End or the outcome. I hope it is clear for you. Gender equality and gender equity both means fairness. Both refers to fairness in treatment. Gender equality is a quantitative concept in the sense that it refers to equal sharing, equal division, equal allocation, whether it is resources or whether it is opportunity, equal division. And gender equity, the basic idea is fairness in treatment, but gender equity means sharing or division according to one's needs. In order to make these two concepts more clearer, maybe I can use an example. Suppose, whom can be an example? Mary and Jason is celebrating her birthday. So during these lockdown days, it so happens that her birthday falls on one of these days. And these are the time when family gets a quality time to stay together. So Mary's mother prepares a very delicious birthday cake. The family sits around the table. After a birthday wishing, Mary cuts the cake and she divides the cake equally among all members of the family. So thereby she is stressing on the concept of gender equality. Equally, quantitatively, the cake is equally divided. So as far as I know Mary, she would be resorting to that concept, a person who believes in gender equality. So equally dividing the cake into as per the number of members in the family. But if she is a person who believes in gender equity, the adult members of the family would be given a larger share according to their needs, or the other members would be given a comparatively smaller share. So the division is made according to the needs of the members of the family. Whether the elder members or the younger ones, whoever needs more is given a larger share. When that is done, that is called gender equity. So we have seen what is gender. We have also seen that there are situations which act as a barrier to reach your potential. That is called gender inequality. And gender equality refers to equal division or equal sharing, fairness in treatment. Gender equity, also based on fairness in treatment, believes in dividing according to one's needs. Then there is yet another term related to gender which we call as gender parity. Gender P-A-R-I-T-Y, gender parity. That is actually a statistical measure. Statistical measure. Gender parity is a statistical measure which provides a numerical value to the ratio, male-female ratio or boy-girl ratio, with respect to certain factors like income or employment or education. For example, if equal number of children attain primary education during a particular academic year, the gender parity would be equal to, the numerical value would be equal to 1. So, gender parity is a statistical measure that provides a numerical value. Numerical value with respect to male-female ratio or with respect to boy-girl ratio in regard to certain parameters or indicators like income, education, etc. So that is what is called gender parity. And an example of gender parity is gender pay gap. Gender pay gap. So we said it is a statistical measure. Gender parity is a statistical measure which provides a numerical value to male-female ratio with respect to any of the indicators like education, employment or income. So gender pay gap is an example of gender parity. So when there is a difference in the remuneration earned by male and female, even though they are being given same opportunity, that is what is called gender pay gap. Okay, so these are some of the basic terms with which we need to be familiarized before we move on to the topic on gender issues. So the next class we would be looking at gender from different perspectives, starting with the historical perspective. So once again, a bird's eye view of what all things we have covered here. We have seen what is gender, that is a socially framed set of characteristics for men and women, and this characteristics may differ from society to society. That is why we find a change in the norms, rules, relationship between the gender in different society. The relationship between the gender in India and the relationship between gender in America is exactly the same, do you think? Absolutely no. We have different cultural background, we have different political, economic background. So accordingly, the socially constructed characteristics meant for men and women vary from society to society. When an individual fails to attain their potential, that is called gender inequality. Equality and equity, very important, based on fairness. One is the means. Equity is the means through which you can attain equality. Gender parity is a statistical concept, a numerical value given to male-female ratio with respect to certain indicators that are measurable like income, education, employment, etc. And one example of gender parity is gender pay gap. So with these basic terms and concepts, we will meet in the next class with various perspectives on gender issues. Thank you.